see everybody this morning. Get your coffee. I was out of milk, so I could only do a cappuccino today. Well, I had a little milk, obviously, but not enough for a latte. I've been really studying up on my milk. I never really could tell the difference. What is a latte versus a cappuccino? Well, it's pretty scientific. You have a little more milk in a latte, and it's only 1/3 foam and the rest milk. In a cappuccino, you have less less milk, and it's half milk, half foam. Who knew? Who knew? I just know that they tasted good, and that's what I liked about them. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day this hump day. Happy hump day. Happy hump day to all of you beautiful people out there. I hope everybody's doing great. We're going to be talking about two cases today. Two cases that are near and dear to my heart. Hey, Lori, Crystal Pistol, Karen, Dawn, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hey, hey, hey. Give me just a second. I'm trying to get all this stuff sent. Oh, shit. Oops, I didn't say that. You guys didn't hear that. I do not owe the cuss jar any money. You guys didn't hear it. It was an illusion in your cranium. I did not say that. I did not say that. Just letting everybody know I did not say that. You did not hear that come out of my mouth. All right. Sorry. All the work that needs to be done. I didn't get this all set up like I was supposed to. Oh, I missed a lot of people. Who else is in the house? Sorry. Hey, guys. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. I think I stopped at Dawn. Stephanie, it's nice to see you. Teresa, Vita, Maggie, it's nice to see you, Mags. The Real Me Too. Bitter Pills. Bitter Pills. Nice to see you. Peggy, it's great to have you here. Kendra, Miss Lee, Mom of 3. Nice to see you, my love. Nice to see you. The Truth in Time, Melanie, Shannon, Mag50, SRK, it's great to see you. Stacy, Dina, Rosebud, Jules are beautiful. The Real Me Too. Don't forget to tell your local mod. Thank you. We have a lot to deal with here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We're not easy on the mods. We're not easy on the mods. Suzanne, it's nice to see you. Pink, Shining Star, Show Poodles, it's nice to see you. Bobby, Monica, Sam's Pretty Paranormal. If you guys have not been over to her X page, you should go over there. She's got beautiful music as well. Rebecca, Amy, Brenda, Reach for the Sky, Lori, Shelly, it's nice to see you. Linda, I think I said hi, but if I didn't, hi. Shelby, Sam, I am. Good morning. Oh, Harley, it's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're having a great Wednesday. Patricia, Tiana, Brienne, Bookworm, our beautiful bookworms up in the house. Casey, it's nice to see you. Sweet Jenna, good morning, my love. I hope you're doing well. Where is Summer? 1-800-TBI Fine. Love your name. Good morning. Good morning, Holly, the hen house, Lisa, Courage and Harmony. Love that. Love that. Love that. Good morning, Michelle. Dog is eating on the pig's ear as we speak. The pig's ear is saving Bullhorn Betty for this live. Yes, yes, yes. We do not have a dog crawling all over us this wonderful morning. Why? Because she's preoccupied with a big old pig ear. Second thesis, it's nice to see you. Most definitely, I'm having a wonderful Wednesday. Hope you're having a great day too. Today is great. This afternoon, not so much. So I'm going in. I'm going in. My back is going to be broken tomorrow. You know, I'm already having, ever since I got out of jail, guys, I'm not joking. I think I'm going to have to go to the doctor. I think there's a nerve pinch. Do you know I've had neuropathy down my right arm since that event? I thought it was the mattress. You know, I was very thankful. I was, you know, when we came back from the doohickey, I had ordered a new mattress, not for any other reason than just every few years I change out my mattress. And so then I ended up going to the vigil and getting arrested, and I was sitting on hard concrete for 19 hours. And my back almost locked up. I won't lie to you. It really did. I was in a lot of pain inside there because that concrete in my degenerate disc disease, scoliosis. The neck surgery did not do well. Staying up for 18 hours, I got no sleep because I couldn't sleep on hard concrete. It was freezing cold. And I think it was done like that by design. I thought it was very rude. But like even this morning, I woke up and my whole arm was just dead. So it's not, it's really starting to bother me, and I don't know what's wrong, but I know something's not right. So, Rebecca, it's nice to see you. Boodlebug, Patty, the real me too, Shelly. NJs, it's nice to see you. Gigi for life. Good morning. Good morning. I have neuropathy in my legs, and oh my gosh, it's too. It is. People don't understand how incredibly painful it is. Your hand hurts. You know, the whole arm hurts because it's completely dead. It's like dead weight. I mean, it just flops in the morning. It's worrisome because that's the way it was before I had my neck surgery. And that's the whole reason why they did the neck surgery was the neuropathy. And, it occasionally I'll have a flare up, but it's usually when I'm overextended or something like that. And it usually just goes away on its own naturally, from the flare up. Usually it's, I've turned my neck too hard. I've done something, overtaxing on my body, and I'll have neuropathy for a few days, but this is not going away. I mean, it's been over a month, and it's like every single morning I wake up with a neuropathy on my right side of my body. And if I remember before, whenever I had the neck surgery, it's been so many years, I could be completely wrong. I thought it was on the left side, but it could have very well been on my right side. But it hasn't been very good. It hasn't been very good. So I'm going to end up having to figure this out and go take care of that. Carol Loves, it's nice to see you. Nani. Paula, good morning. Terry, it's nice to see you. My mom has DDD and has had 5 surgery on her spine. Last one, put a metal pole. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want, because once that metal rod goes in, your mobility just sucks. I didn't mind whenever I only had the discectomy infusion on the C5 and the C6, and I believe that was back in 2005 or 2007 or something, somewhere around there, early to mid 2000s. I remember that. But that was just the two, and I didn't mind having the two fused together because I can still turn my neck. It probably doesn't have as much mobility as I need to, but even like that shoots pain slap down this back shoulder here. I don't like it. I didn't have these problems before. Kathy, it's nice to see you. Sugar Bear, Sluslation, Sunset Gazing, it's nice to see you, my love. Court Crime Couch, hello, my love. I hope you're doing well this Wednesday. Victoria, it's nice to see you. Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy, big hugs and kisses to both of you. I got to tell you, Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy are just great people. They're the ones that got me the security threat shirt, okay? Now that you guys know that's a classic. And they've been great support. So just God bless them. I need so many surgeries. I'm not getting any of them. I know, I don't want to hear that. That's pretty much why I haven't gone, because I'm scared they're going to tell me I'm going to need another surgery, and I don't want to. Sissy, it's nice to see you. Phil, a true psychic, it's nice to see you as well. Amy, Marie, Danita, it's nice to see you. Dana, Donna, and Wait What, it's nice to have you. Wait What just reminded us, don't forget to go out there and hit that thumbs up button. They do surgery on my back. I can get paralyzed. That's why I won't let them touch my back. That's what I was scared of whenever they were doing my discectomy infusion. And I was a very fortunate gal that I can't even remember the doctor that did it. But I remember when I did my research, I found the doctor in my county that had published medical articles published, medical research published. He was very good, top of his, he was one of the top surgeons in this area. And I was very, very fortunate to have him do my surgery. I don't know how I managed to get him to do the surgery, because you got to understand, I did not have a whole lot of money, and I can guarantee he did not get paid from, this is before they changed the law in Florida to make sure that the doctors get paid out of your settlement, or the insurance has to pay somehow. And I don't even know if he ever got paid. I don't know how that all worked out with my settlement. I have to think he got paid because I never received any type of, threats to sue or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure they paid it out of my settlement somehow, but it was so many years ago I can't remember. But I remember it was a very, very costly surgery, and I had one of the best neurosurgeons in this area. And again, how that happened, I can't remember. I want to say his name was, what the hell was his name? I'll think of it. I'll think of it because I remember I talk about him all the time, and he's just not coming to my mind right now. But either way, good morning. It is Wednesday, guys. I'm Bullhorn Betty, and we cover true crime. We're going to be getting on the case of Sebastian Rogers, but I wanted to give some updates because many of you guys know Alec Murdaugh's case is very near and dear to personally me, okay? This was something that really shook my being as a human being to see a well-to-do attorney unalive his wife and his son, and hearing about it and just knowing that things just didn't sound right in that case too. We were literally on that case. We went to the house. We were behind the gates. We were to every single court hearing. We were there for his murder trial. We were there for the auction, all there, boots on the ground, in person, bringing to you live coverage. I think the most notable work that we did was when I got the tour on for the dog kennels. That private tour of the dog kennels with the gentleman was probably one of the most important things I think I ever did, but I didn't even have a clue where they were at. Like, I didn't know. I was looking in the wrong area, and it was like, I knew that that Paul was there at that area, so I had that area, but I didn't know that Maggie was just over by the wing. I thought she was almost out in the field. And so at that time, I had no idea where her body was positioned, but I scanned the whole area, and they had like a hangar for a plane, probably a dusting crop type plane, but they had a hangar there. And when I was there, Paul's truck was still there on grounds, which was really even a little layer of heartbreaking stuff. We were there for the clerk. We went to South Carolina we were in court with Judge Toll, and Becky Hill lied. There was no way that you could deduct that she was not lying. She looked like she was lying. She sounded like she was lying. There was not one person that believed her statement. And when she said the first lie, everything else had to be called into question. She has every reason to be under scrutiny. She has every reason to have withdrawn, to resign from her position. What she did was wrong. I would never have believed it. I was there for the court hearing, but all of this stuff, the trial, but all of this stuff, guys, was done behind closed doors. It wasn't what we were able to see. This was all the stuff that went on in the jury room where the layman person couldn't see or anything like that. Now, we were also there for his financial crimes. That was very hard because you saw grown men cry, as they were, as their victim impact statements were read. It was just very, very hard to listen to. This man hurt people. They were already down on their luck, and they got settlements that were going to pick them up and help them move on with their life, and he stole their future. I mean, you got to understand what Alec really did to people. He stole their future. He stole their future for no other reason than greed. Now, they say it was because of this drug addiction, which I have to admit that any type of addiction costs a lot of money. To the tune of the money that he was talking about, absolutely not. That man would be dead. Anybody that's had any type of addiction and has had treatment, and you go through all the education of addiction, and you start learning about what it is and stuff like that, you'll learn very early on that, as if he was really, really thin and sunken in cheeks and stuff like that, yeah, I would say maybe it had gotten that bad, but we weren't looking at that type of man. As a matter of fact, that man was pretty heavy set at the time that his wife and son, um, you know, lost their life. Oh, thank you, SRK. If you received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership, Jenna, you got that. You got that. Welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club. RT to go. It's nice to see you, my love. Yes, I love it. I love it. I decided to wear it today, and it's very comfortable. I love it. I love the soft fabric. Thank you. Great quality shirt. Great design. This is definitely I don't know what they call this stuff, but it's definitely good print. It's not like, it's not going to wash off. It's good. It's good. They did a great job. I love it. I love it. And what a great story behind this shirt as well. Crafty Chris, it's nice to see you, my love. Gypsy, it's nice to see you as well. So we all were there for the financial crimes. He did a plea deal. Okay, they were coming after him with pretty significant charges, and out of all the charges, I can't remember, what did he finally admit to? Like 20 something charges. It was ridiculous. Okay, let's be honest. It was ridiculous. But they were getting him for 40 years anyways. This was the deal. It was like, they did the murder conviction, the murder trial first. They wanted to get him there before they did the financial crimes. The financial crimes was really the fail safe. If they couldn't get him convicted on the murders, they were still going to get him behind bars on the financial. So they did the murder trial first, and then they did the financial crimes second. And he was convicted of murdering his wife and son, and then he went over there and took a plea deal for the financial crimes. He knew he was going to get a significant amount of time. This was a plea deal. He got 40 years, and I think they were trying to seek 20 years potentially. I can't remember the details at this point. We've talked so much about other cases, but I am going to read an article. We will get up to date on it. But just the long story short is his appeal on the financial crimes were denied. They're not going to move forward with that. And the reason why they're not going to move forward with that is, and I know it has to do with the plea deal. In the plea deal, you pretty much sign your ability to appeal the lawfulness, or whatever it is when you do a plea deal. And it sounds like he tried to backdoor it. He had buyer's remorse, so to speak, in my opinion. So here's what it says. Here's some photos of Alec in that courtroom. Oh, it's not doing it. Oh, it's going to make me do them individually. So there's one. Oh, thank you, Phil. God bless you. He's not a happy camper. I think it's finally starting to sink into this MFR. Excuse my language, but it's true. Hey, Reality. I didn't know you were in here. Rubicon, it's nice to see you. Courage and Harmony. I got called into work. I'll catch the replay. All right, you have a great day this beautiful Wednesday. God bless you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. That's what we do. Woo! He doesn't look happy. That's almost like an angry, damn it, type of look. So let's read the article so everybody can be brought up to date on what the article is. Why did it go to this one? There we go. Okay. So it says the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals granted government's motion Tuesday to dismiss convicted killer Alec Murdaugh's appeal for his federal sentence for financial crimes. The 3-judge panel concluded Murdaugh knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to appeal after reviewing the record on both sides' submission. U.S. District Judge Richard M. Gergel sentenced convicted killer Murdaugh to 40 years for financial crimes on April 1st at a courthouse in Charleston. Murdaugh's attorney filed an appeal shortly after the disgraced former attorney was sentenced in April. Alex was also ordered to pay $8,762,731.88 in restitution, and forfeited $10,034,377.95 in forfeiture. The United States District Attorney for the District of South Carolina, Adair Burrows, filed a motion April 8th seeking court to dismiss his appeal, and they attached it. So his appeal was denied for the financial crimes. Now, that does not go hand in hand with the new murder trial that he could potentially have. Let me do Alec Murdaugh. I lost track of that as well. I know he's got a and I don't know what date that is. Hold on, let me see if this says it. This was about a month ago. Actually, not even a little over a month ago. The South Carolina Supreme Court has agreed to hear the convicted murderer Alec Murdaugh's jury tampering appeal. The order issued Tuesday means the case will go straight to the High Court, skipping the lengthy Court of Appeals process. The state Supreme Court could overturn judge's decision from earlier this year that denied Murdaugh's attempt to get a new trial. His attorney filed a motion in July requesting the High Court to review the ruling before his appeal is determined by the State Court of Appeals because the case concerns an issue of significant public interest and a legal principle of major importance warranting a certification. Last year, Murdaugh's legal team requested a new trial based on allegations that the now former Colton County Clerk of Courts, Becky Hill, tampered with the jury by making comments implying Murdaugh's guilt to jurors. On January 29th, retired Judge Justice Jean Toll held that Hill, now former clerk, was attracted by sirens of celebrity and made improper comments to the juror, but ruled that the comments did not influence the verdict reached. So like I said, it was very apparent that Becky Hill lied in that hearing in front of Judge Toll. Judge Toll is a very, her resume is impeccable, okay? She's earned the right on the Supreme Court. She was one of the first female justices to the South Carolina Supreme Court. She's very good at what she does. And I have to think that when she was there, were they influenced? Now, it wasn't a matter of whether Becky made those comments. Even though Becky lied, there was enough evidence there to establish Becky made those comments. Becky was definitely, I would have never believed it had I not been sitting there and watched it for myself, okay? I would not have believed it. She absolutely lied. She lied to the public, and more importantly, she lied to that judge, and that judge knew she lied to her. But was it enough to sway the jury? And Judge Toll found that not to be the case. It wasn't enough. Hey, Sonia. Hey, Rod. It's nice to see you. It wasn't enough to sway the jury. Metal Ass, it's nice to see you as well. So I simply do not believe that the authority of our South Carolina Supreme Court requires a new trial in a lengthy trial such as this on such strength of some fleeting and foolish comment by a publicity-influenced clerk of courts. That's what Judge Toll said. It was clear that Becky's behavior was wrong. In Murdaugh filing requesting the state Supreme Court review, his attorney wrote that the legal principle of major importance is whether it is presumptively prejudicial for the state officials to secretly advocate for a guilty verdict through ex parte contact with jurors during a trial, or whether a defendant, having proven the contact occurred, must also somehow prove that the verdict would have been different at a hypothetical trial in which the surreptitious, I don't know, advocacy did not occur. And not only that, but I always wonder, and this is true, and you guys know how I feel about Alec Murdaugh. I don't want to see him get a new trial. It really upsets me that he'll jeopardize this case in such a way that he could get a new trial. I'm very disheartened about that. You don't jeopardize a case like that for your own personal gain, and that's what it appears she did. Hill repeatedly denied the allegations, but has since resigned her position as clerk of court and is under a state investigation while facing numerous state ethical violations. Citing the ongoing nature of the matter, the state attorney's office declined to comment on the state Supreme Court order. Last year, after a 6-week trial, a Colton County judge found Murdaugh guilty of shooting and killing his wife, Maggie, and youngest son, Paul, at their family's hunting estate in June 2021. He was sentenced and is currently serving 2 life sentences in state prison for their murder. Murdaugh has also been sentenced in state and federal court to 27 years and 40 years, respectively, on dozens of financial crimes stemming from more than a decade of stealing money from clients and his law firm. He is also appealing his federal sentence for the financial crimes. So as you guys can see, he's really challenging that. Now, getting back to the thought that I kind of cut myself short on, is it always makes me wonder, in this case, even though the jurors said that her utterances did not affect them, but how do we know? How do we know that they didn't start getting ultra focused or, feel a certain way after their original opinions were understood by the clerk and vice versa? How do we know? And that really does come down to this, because if there was any possibility, it's very clear in our law, especially when it comes to these high profile, not necessarily high profile, but murder, okay? When it comes to those types of crimes, when it comes to these really, really heinous crimes, you want that defendant to absolutely have, without a shadow of a doubt, a fair court proceeding and a fair trial. I think we would want that for ourselves if we were in that position. And whether we like somebody or not, I think for justice, for our processes, we would want that for everybody else, whether we like them or not. Lisa, a true psychic, JC World, nice to see you guys here this morning. Good morning. Happy hump day. So I'm kind of conflicted with this, because I know for a fact Becky Hill lied, but I also heard every single one of the jurors come up and say it did not affect their ruling. So with that being said, they're not focusing on the rest of the jurors. They're focusing on 2. So the first one's going to be easy. It's a juror that was already in there, and she felt pressure by the other jury members to bring down a guilty plea. It was through their deliberation, in the deliberation process. She tried to at first blame it on Becky Hill as influencing her, but when Justice Jean Toll questioned her, the reality of her statement is that she felt pressure in that jury box, and pressure in the deliberation from other jurors, and that is part of the process. Okay, when you go back there to deliberate, it can be very heated between jurors, because one juror may have a very strong opinion somebody's not guilty, while other jurors may have a very strong opinion that it is, and they start working in it. So how that works is they start saying, so what is your problem about this case? What is keeping you from getting a guilty plea? And then they'll say, well, it's this issue. So then the jurors will go back through the evidence that they're allowed to review as part of the case and start working through the process of proving to that juror that they're wrong on the issue and here is why, and try to get them to change their decision. That's what goes on, behind closed doors in the deliberation area where nobody's really allowed to be except possibly a bailiff while they're doing that. And occasionally they may call, if they have a question, they may call the judge in there for clarification. They may call, whatever the bailiff thinks is appropriate to have, especially if there's an issue inside there. It's the bailiff that goes out and gets whoever needs to address it. So that's kind of the process in this whole jury situation. And then the second one was the egg lady. Because basically what she's saying is that because Becky Hill noticed that she was a little more emotional and appeared to be gravitating toward Alec, and I think she was seen crying or potentially handing him a box of tissue or something to that effect. But shortly thereafter, she got kicked off of the jury for allegedly speaking about the case improperly, which can't happen when you have a jury. A juror cannot speak about the details of the case or what they're thinking. They can only say that they're a jury on the case. They can't talk about the case, nor can they watch or learn anybody's opinion or details about the case. They have to be away from any type of the commentary. And so Becky Hill basically said that this lady was got a report from her ex-husband. The ex-husband denies that, but got a report from the ex-husband that she was talking about the case to some friends or something like that. It really wasn't substantiated, but Becky Hill went and convinced Judge Newman that this was legitimate and the as a precaution, to make sure that this could not be appealed later down the road. I think that they went ahead and removed her. So what the egg lady's saying basically is that Becky Hill manufactured that information to get her kicked off because she thought she was going to rule in favor of Alec and cause a hung jury. And so because of those reasons for those two jurors, they're saying that no, it rises a little bit more than just above the jury that's there, because one juror was removed inappropriately, and that juror could have potentially voted in the defense's favor, and that's the reason why specifically this juror was removed. That's what they're alleging. So the Supreme Court of South Carolina has agreed to take that case. I remember hearing the date, but I forgot. If somebody remembers which courthouse it's going to be in or what date and time, please send that over to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Good morning. It's me, Jen. It's nice to see you here this morning. Pussy Willowcat, it's also nice to see you here as well. I think the egg lady also lied to the judge about her ex-husband. It's possible. It's possible. They can do, like, SLED's involved in this investigation. They have subpoena power. They have the ability to, pull the Facebook records. Facebook stores that stuff, what you deleted, what you typed, what you have in drafts. They have all of that behind the scenes. So the stuff is accessible somehow. They just need to get the right situation. So there is that. All right, guys. So getting back to, that's just your update on Alec Murdaugh. I know there's some people that have been with the Alec Murdaugh case along with me that have followed me through all of it. It was really sad. We did a lot of work. As a matter of fact, I think don't I have a nice little video about that? Let's see what we got. I think I got a video. Can't remember what's on it, but I think I got one. Let's see. Let me go back in my editing software. I know it's got to be on YouTube somewhere, but I don't know where. I thought I remember seeing it, and I wouldn't delete it because it was good. I think it's this one right here. Is this it? Ooh, I think this is it. Ah, yeah, that is it. Hold on, let me see if I can get this thing to... Ah, there we go. I don't know. Some of you guys weren't with me when I created this. See, people don't realize I do videos too because they see me live all the time. I actually do when I sit down and do video editing. I'm pretty decent. The legacy of the Murdaughs stretch very far in South Carolina. Behind these gates lie deadly secrets. Secrets only Alec Murdaugh himself knows. On June 7th, 2021, Alec Murdaugh I'm hitting the wrong button. Hold on. Cancel. That's not what I was trying to do. I'm just trying to... Oh, I was on the wrong side. That's why. I was trying to get the volume up. I hate this. I really don't like... I really don't like Apple products. I tell you. Like, I'm on here, I'm trying to do the volume, and it's telling me the ring. It's like, this phone just can't figure it out. Okay, so let's start from the beginning now it's louder. The legacy of the Murdaughs stretch very far in South Carolina. Behind these gates lie deadly secrets. Secrets only Alec Murdaugh himself knows. On June 7th, 2021, Alec Murdaugh hatched a deadly secret, plotting against his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. But what brought us to this point starts with Mallory Beach. Mallory Beach was killed in a boating accident by Paul Murdaugh, Alec Murdaugh's son, and it was going to trial, and Alec was about to pony up financial records. Those financial records were going to uncover a financial scheme hatched by none other than Alec Murdaugh himself. Right before going to court over the boating accident, Alec Murdaugh's wife, Maggie, and son, Paul, were brutally executed at the dog kennels at their home in Low Country, South Carolina, the property known as Moselle. Shortly after the murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul, he had a foiled suicide plot at a local church nearby. Alec had a friend try to shoot him in the head region, which again failed, and he went to the hospital where it was a superficial wound, leaving everybody to believe this was a foiled suicide attempt to garner sympathy from the community. This foiled attempt was captured on camera at the local church. Alec Murdaugh received 2 life sentences for the death and murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. After Alec's double homicide conviction of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul, he has since set his eyes on the clerk of Colton County, Becky Hill. Becky Hill is now come under fire for putting her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get Alec Murdaugh convicted. Alec Murdaugh's defense team state that Becky Hill put her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get money for a book deal. Alec Murdaugh has a hearing for a motion for new trial coming up on January 29th. This hearing details how Alec Murdaugh believes Becky Hill, the clerk of Colton County, put her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get a guilty verdict from the jury. The judge in the matter stated that she will be willing to hear from the jurors and Becky Hill only at the most recent status conference hearing. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories channel as we prepare to go to this hearing to find out whether Alec Murdaugh does indeed get a new trial. Oh, don't forget the boop, boop. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done video editing, but we'll have to get back on there, especially with, we didn't get a whole lot of footage from Sebastian Rogers' case. I haven't been out there to do a whole lot of video editing, video shots. We've only got a nighttime view and a daytime view. Obviously there's a lot more that goes into these videos than a daytime and nighttime view. And so I will be out there hopefully after October 10th to get footage of some other scenes so I can make a mini documentary of the Sebastian Rogers case as well. So I do a lot of different stuff. But most of you guys haven't seen me or knew what kind of work Have they found him yet? No, they haven't, Dolly. Unfortunately, they haven't. A Big Mac Mike up in the house. Becky should pay for the trial she tainted. I agree. But you know what? Just like every other person and politician we hire, we vote to bring into office, guess what? We're on the hook for their mistakes. We're on the hook for their mistakes. After October 10th is my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Brenda. Happy birthday. I know it's your birthday wishes. It being October 10th. Hopefully I'll give you a big birthday surprise. I don't know. Happy early birthday, Brenda. Yes. So it's nice to see everybody here. So we've been going through the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from inside his locked home. And I start putting that there because I want people to understand this boy was inside a locked home with his mother. Now, you know, I'm getting a lot of emails and I'm getting a lot of clips from the interviews. And I used to pass it off as speech pattern. Because when you guys hear me talk and I'm out in the field, I'm always saying we. And you guys know it's me. You know, especially with the Sebastian Rogers case. Because Olivia did the interview with Chris and Katie. She did not, once she realized things were going south, she did not want to be involved in this case. People had told her that, you know, that it's not good, don't get involved, blah, blah, blah. So this case, I've been basically doing alone, you know. Usually I have a team of people that are with me out in the field, a team of people that are with me behind the scenes, a team of people. But because of the nature of this case, because of the constant threats of violence that were coming out from the mom and stepdad's camp early on in this case, it really deterred a lot of people. There's not too many people that were willing to deal with all the threats of taking channels, the threats of this, threats of that. Well, it just so happens that I happen to hear that every single day and have heard that every single day for ever since I've been on this platform, that people are going to take my channel and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So I didn't really care. You know, I hear it literally on the daily. I'm going to live the life that I live and do the work that I do without people constantly trying to put me in a state of fear. Now, with that being said, when they realized I was not going to back down, they ended up lying under oath, and you guys know the history of that. We're not going to rehash that. But it did bring this level of chaos to this case, and because we were pushing it on such a national level, there were national people that started realizing what was truly going on and wanted to help this case, as well as help tamper down some of the bad behavior on these platforms. And so that kind of help was absolutely 100% welcomed. But at this point, this juncture, when the help finally did come, the case had been so filled with misinformation and disinformation and so toxic that it was hard to see what was fact from fiction. And so we knew what fact from fiction are, but there's still other people that we have to understand that are on these hate channels that don't realize the truth because they're not being told the truth, but yet they're watching our channel because they're told not to watch our channel. And naturally, when somebody's told not to watch, they always want to look under the hood and see why they can't watch, right? So they're coming over here and they're realizing, wait, they didn't hear this, wait, they didn't hear that, and how much this changed. So now they're starting to be able to see the truth. You know, we're not really cutting it up. We're not driving a narrative. We're not trying to catch these little clips and embellish those clips. We're literally giving people, we're going back to the beginning and we're giving people a hey TD, it's nice to see you. River, it's nice to see you. Lisa B, always, it's nice to see you as well. Big hugs and kisses to all of you. The Braden family, or Braden God, it's nice to see you. And I think I said hi to you, Sonia. Hopefully I did. If I didn't, hi. Good morning. Good morning, my love. Mandy Moo, try chiropractic for your back if you haven't yet. I get so nervous with chiropractors because when I was younger, I went to a chiropractor, and the neurologist told me when I went to the neurologist for the neck surgery, he basically told me to stay away from chiropractors. So I've always been a little skeptical, especially with my neck, since there's already metal and titanium already in my neck. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm caught between a rock and a hard spot here. I need to go speak to somebody, that's for sure, because this morning was just another day, and I'm fed up. I thought it would be gone by now, and it's not. So clearly something else is going on there, and it did start literally after the jail. I don't know if it's from how they had my hands behind my back writing for a freaking hour like that, or if it was from sitting on the concrete, but something happened, and I've been trying to deal with it, and I thought maybe it was just some inflammation that would eventually go down. Well, if the inflammation is supposed to go down, it should be gone. I mean, we're at October 2nd. I was arrested on August 24th. I have a VP shunt and an open soft spot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this kind of sucks. She's still gnawing on that pig's ear. She's just dragging it around everywhere with her. So getting back to it, where were we on this? Oh, yeah, we were on people not wanting to get involved, the toxicity, and going back to the beginning. So we started watching all the news and everything from February 26th on, because most of us didn't get involved until March. And so we're hearing a lot of their initial interviews. We listened to the first 3 interviews, and this is what I think happened. I think that they had quit giving interviews, so they didn't go back and review the interviews that they had provided. And then they got this shock of these lights being dropped, and it clearly showing movement outside of that house at night. And I think that they kept quiet, but they kept, because they kept watching social media. They were so adamant about finding out what the public really truly believes that they could not unplug from social media. And they were starting to see this light source video taking a life of its own, and they couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle people speculating, and they wanted to change the narrative. And within a few days of that light video, that's when they start coming out. They're more disgruntled, they're more pointed, they're more abrasive, they're more short. They just want to get all the tough answers, stuff answered. They want people to hear their plea, like, you don't know what's going on. How dare you guys think this? And, oh, he's going to be mad when he sees how people are treating his mama. They were literally going through the guilt trip, going through the just all these things. But what we noticed is none of it had anything to do with Sebastian. It was all about them and how they're feeling and what they're going through. Nobody gives a crap about what they're going through, their feelings. We've got a missing 15-year-old medically needy child here. Nobody cares how uncomfortable the parents are when they can't produce a child that was in their custody. And that's what we're dealing with. And so they started wanting to control, but they wanted to control, and what they did is they ended up making their situation worse, because you could literally tell, like, even in the 2 Dutch's interview contradicts each other, one right after another. The first contradiction was the first interview. The first interview was when Duchess repeated to Katie. So I just want to clarify this from our conversation earlier. I'm trying to say it verbatim, but I'm probably missing a few words. I'm just going to put the disclaimer. This isn't verbatim, but it's as close to it as I can remember. And she says, based on our conversation earlier, you said you fell asleep around 10. However, Sebastian went to bed around 9 p.m. And she said, yes, 9. And you woke up shortly before midnight and were in bed by midnight. She said, yes, midnight. And I was asleep, obviously. Then Chris pipes in. And he goes, I want to make sure that things are crystal clear and ultra transparent. Me and the mother, that's how he talked about her, me and the mother had a lengthy conversation, which has been verified by all law enforcement, including TBI and Sumner County. to try to say it was okay. They understand that we had this lengthy conversation. Again, I felt like this was trying to get in front of an issue that they were going to have later down the road, because people are going to want to know, why are you speaking for 3 hours? And so he goes into saying that Katie called him at 9:43 or 9:46. She had just acknowledged with Duchess she fell asleep on the couch at 10. So now we're getting a whole new story, literally on the back end of Katie confirming that information. And so that was the first major contradiction that I heard at the beginning. Now we fast forward to the second Duchess interview. Some of the contradictions were related to the phone call when she was trying to explain that she talks to her husband regularly. Well, she says, I typically talk to him after Sebastian goes to bed. And then when she was caught on another question, she's like, well, we have these conversations at dinner time, mostly. And it's like, well, you just said mostly you have them after he goes to bed, and now it's mostly at dinner time so you guys can be a family. And that was like one sentence after another. So you see these contradictions, and you can't help but to see them over and over again. And so this is kind of, even though we're not putting a spotlight on the specific red flags, especially with which we will with the Smiley's World interview, because it was so lengthy, we just went through it. I wanted everybody to hear their statements without a bunch of interruptions and everything like that, and we were able to accomplish that. But what we've learned, let's just go over some of the things that we've learned. What we learned is in the first 3 interviews, there was nothing referenced about Sebastian's chores, such as taking the garbage out. The story surrounding what happened that morning has changed significantly. What do I mean by that? So during the first 3 interviews, what we were told by both the mom and the stepdad is that Katie woke up at 6 a.m. When she woke up, she went to go into her son's room to wake him up, and he was not there. She had a little panic. She searched around the house thinking he was pulling a prank and possibly in the kitchen fixing breakfast, which is really weird because she's got to cross through the kitchen to get to his room. So she would have known he was not in the kitchen. However, she says she woke up, she went in there, he was not there. She looked around the house, and within 3 minutes, she calls Chris, her husband, 3.5 hours away at his job site on St. Jude's in Memphis. And he told her to go look here and go look here. And when she says, I've looked there, he's not here, he says he immediately called law enforcement on 3-way. Immediately. Because that's what parents are supposed to do. When their child is missing, he even went in this whole dissertation. Hey, Mystic Firefly. He went into this whole dissertation about how parents are supposed to call law enforcement immediately if their child is missing. And that's what he did. Okay. Then why did it take 30 minutes to call law enforcement? That is what we learned. We learned, actually, you know what? I've got my other phone here. Well, let's get through the list. So so we learned later that she left the house. So there was no mention in the first 3 interviews, no mention of her ever leaving the home to go search for Sebastian. She realized he wasn't home. Within a few minutes, she calls her husband. He says, look here. There's nothing here. He's like, okay, something's definitely going on. And immediately calls 911. And the cavalry shows up. That was their statement. 3 interviews, their first 3 interviews. When we started getting to the 4th interview, which was the second Duchess interview and Chronicles of Olivia interview, that's when we learned that she got in her car that morning and left that property. She states why she didn't state she went searching for him in the first 3 interview, but in this one she states she ran up and down her streets in her community before exiting her community and going to the school. We learned from Miss Bobby, we haven't gotten back to her interview yet, but we learned from Miss Bobby that is not true. She drove out of her garage and immediately exited her community. And as a matter of fact, never even stopped at the school. She never stopped at the school. She never went inside the school. She rolled through. And it so happened the way she rolled through right across the area over there, guess what? Is Worsham's. And we've had multiple people say that Kathy, the grandmother, was sitting over there as early as 5:45, 5:45 or 5:50 in the morning. Many minutes before Sebastian was even known to have been gone. Nobody can explain that. They called us, we learned that there was no thud in those 3 interviews, and there was only noise in the second and third, the 4th and 5th interview. The Duchess' second interview in Chronicles of Olivia, it was only a noise. So no thud. No on any cameras in or around the house, and no other family were referenced. Those were the first 3 interviews the world got to see that were missing those critical details, and those didn't ever even be brought up until after the flashlight video was released by Nick Barris. And then all of a sudden, the story takes a 180. This is something that we did not watch early on, that we probably should have watched. Something we probably should have watched. Where's my playlist? View all my playlists. Search. I know I saved it. Did I save it to the wrong one? Hold on, give me just a second. Let me see. There it is. It's going to be 20 minutes. I know we're going a little over our live, but I want you guys to hear it so everybody gets to hear this. These? All right, so what we're listening to here is Jessica. She's in Canada. She's a very sweet girl. And she does a lot of great work. And so she was able to get her hands on all of the dispatch calls. And what she did is she took all the dispatch calls and put them in chronological order so we can see exactly how everything transpired, those minutes going in. And so this is the first 11 hours of the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers from law enforcement, what they were doing, what they were hearing. Oh, did somebody give? I'll go back. Oh, thank you, Bobby. If you received your gifted membership, please don't forget to tell Bobby. Thank you so much. God bless you, Bobby. Cynthia, Metal Ass, Big Mac, Mike, Kimberly, and River. Welcome to the crazy crew we call the Coffee Club. Welcome to the family. But most of you guys were already part of the family before you got officially. We're gonna have to do a little thing. I kind of like Mr. and Mrs. E, thank you video. I don't know. We're going to have to do something like that. I don't know. It's going to take me some time because editing is not my forte. I mean, I can do it. It's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work. It seems a lot easier for me to come here and go live and give you guys everything. But I know you guys like the pretty professional videos, the commentary, the clips. I know. I'll have to start getting back on it. I kind of got away from it with this trip. Or with this case. So, oh, Ladies for Justice, it's nice to see you. Mama Bear, Unicorn, it's nice to see you guys. But this is something everybody needs to listen to. Look at the times on the screens as well. I'm about to make Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. I'm advised to put up in their 15-year-old now, not in the bed. Right now, 3 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot. Thank you, Ginger Girl. Welcome, Mama Bear. Wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants. You know those have a form of autism. It's the first time it happened. I'm going to be in the home before midnight. The doors are locked at this time. 10-4 around. I dropped to you 47-180, 412. Juvenile. Once his son at the house, the mother is driving around looking for him in a Victoria subdivision, and she is driving a new baby blue Infiniti. Okay. So it was actually at 6:42 that they capture her driving around. They get a call. They're starting to get this out on the airways at 6:39. Why at 6:39? There because you're going to see when the call came in. And so by 6:42, they said the mother was out driving around. Doesn't sound immediate, does it? Does that sound immediate to you guys? Because she woke up at 6. She looked around the house. Within 3 minutes, she calls the husband. The husband says, oh, well, we need to call 911 because that's what parents do. But they didn't. And as a matter of fact, it took them a little while. Like 30 minutes. The school, I can guarantee, you guys watched, go back to my live, you can see how close it is to the house. It's literally, you go out of their community, you take a left, you go down about a quarter of a mile to a half of a mile, and it's right there. Definitely not 30 or 40 minutes away from home. Okay? So let me back up. Here we go.
Control to 47-180, Bullhorn 12. Juvenile wants his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in an 840 place subdivision, and she is driving a big blue Infinity.
Sit there and see what's going on. Go around, search of the residence. We'll go from there. I'm in the area. Check on hold up. Just seeing it. You can't check the assistant around to the missing case out.
I checked. There's no medical center ER, center station ER, Sumner regional ER, and Skyline, all clear up to juvenile. You can see that the code red has them on as 745.
Nice big track back up. Going into the construction site over here back towards the beach. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? Couldn't have any shoes. I do have some footprints. Right there where you're standing? Yeah. Leading right over here to the routine. No shoes, just footprints. He literally dove into it. Nice lady straight to the routine.
They just said he just literally dove into it. So the dog just dove into the pond.
Into the water. And do you see any prints around it? There was a few footprints in some of the softer dirt headed straight this way on the track that he was running. Do we have a picture yet? That's something. What was that heat signature at? Where the riprap is, where the trees are, 25 feet, maybe out in the middle. Hey guys, the construction's on, there's another pond. There's somebody standing in the woods. It looks like a person. It is a person we know, but there's another pond. He's standing back there by himself. Past the construction zone in the same area back there. Yeah, the north end of it, yeah. Over here, go straight back. There's a person in the woods by that pond. There's the house on the other side of the tree line. Going back toward the beach or going on the back side.
Try to get that light out of your way.
He's just standing there by himself in the woods. This is Hendersonville 517. I'm on the northeast corner in the cemetery across the tree line. Am I close? No, the backside. Think if you can, you have anybody there with you. Stand by. Let me see if I can find it on my map. I got my drone ground for the moment. I'll see if I can do it. There it gets over. One of the two. I'm in my truck. Two, there's four of us on foot.
Hopefully that's getting it out of your eyes.
Straight in. Keep it on. Go left. You come back, you passed it. There's a rubbish road. Won't be there. Won't let you going. Into the woods, You should be about 15 foot from it. What's Charles' first name? Should be all over whatever it is right there. The two people walking the wood. It's a mannequin.
Mannequin.
Sorry, guys. Look just like a person from the hair. Hendersonville 66. What's the name of the child that we're looking for? First name is Pat. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? First name is Pat. Last clothing description was black sweatpants with a white stripe, black long sleeve t-shirt with a print. Nikki, how many drawings do y'all have up? One at the moment. I've got mine grounded so I can get started total up. I'll be back in the area momentarily. 29 Central on scene. Put 2 out here with me. 10-4, has anybody been there since the initial? There's a whole bunch of people here now. 4 in the morning. Can you help me listen to the radio on North End until we wrap this up, please? Yes, sir. Brandon, you've got Hendersonville Mountain Patrol coming up there, and Joe's sending some more cars if we can start from the beginning, from the original house, and set up a new plan up there. Yeah, boy, that's what we're doing now, sir. Thank you. Well, no, yes, a neighbor advised that he's found the child under his son's car, which is across the street, 2 doors up. So be sure and search under cars and under things.
Under cars. When did that happen?
How do you want to go with this other canine search and rescue? I just talked to the GC, the construction back here. He's going to start getting word out to all his crews that are out here working. Everybody, 94 to 1,000, so we can get a game plan and reconvene. Target, can you put a drone right over top of this trash can, this dumpster, if there's anything in it? 188. Van 184 is going to send you a picture. You send out a code red for 1008 Stafford.
Code red was sent out at 0745 this morning.
2-4. We will send that in good. Can we retry that, please?
Definitely, will do.
188. Oh, yes, sir. Can you come to 1008, please? 12 to any units that are going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Stafford Court now, please. Start at the beginning of Kelly Lane 1000. We're going to work our way north of Kelly Lane. That's fine. I'll get these 2 houses right here, and we'll take the right side. The white Ford truck, that's the Hendersonville officer's house that's with me. Or, no, that house hasn't been checked. The next house up from it, see the white Ford in the driveway. We will get a neighborhood Facebook page. Post is made. 1023 check. No motion on camera.
So now you know why there was a Facebook page or Facebook post. It sounds like they asked Katie to put a Facebook post together. I would assume if that's around the time that she posted for the first time or the second.
With an additional caller calling that was in a day stating she called someone that made the description on Hopkins Branch. Male with sandy blonde hair with a tag wrapped around his head. Child stated he had on a reflective jacket. Approximately 2 hours ago.
30 from A. 139 World End has a camera, but nobody's answering the door. He had some ties at White House High School, and every time he got in trouble, he wanted to go back to White House, so I notified White House PD, or notified him there, sir.
Every time he gets in trouble, he has a habit of going back to his school. That's what I was just hearing. Let's listen to that again. So it seems like he has had, or at least they've stated, he's had some episodes before where he's left home while maintaining he's never left home. I don't know.
Jacket. Approximately 2 hours ago.
30 from A. 139 World End has a camera, but nobody's answering the door. He had some ties at White House High School, and every time he got in trouble, he wanted to go back to White House, so I notified White House PD.
White House High School. He has ties to White House High School, and every time he gets in trouble, he goes back. He tries to make it back to White House High School. I know this is the first time I heard that he was associated with White House High School. I thought Chris was. So we're going to be diving back into that after hearing this.
If the camera is correct.
Just careful. Nobody's answering. Nobody's home. Hey, reference that address. Please hold on. Registration check on testing tag. Sir.
Factory 2012 BMW 750 black and color. Registered. At their address. Sorry.
If you can't see it, you can find any information. I'm sure we can look up on the phone number or something. We would appreciate it.
Command units that are at staff report. When you check a residence, please give me the numeric and unit numbers that have checked it and whether or not you made contact with anybody.
Made contact with 1000 Killing Lane. He checked all the cameras. Nothing was on. No answer at 102 or 103 Killing Lane. 105 answered, hasn't seen it. Nothing on the ring doorbell.
Therefore, you're saying 102 is at 1002?
10,002, I'm sorry.
Did you ask if he had any white purple hoodie?
Oh, that's the answer, no, but, just on out if he owns a light purple hoodie with him or something like that.
Can I ask?
Mom doesn't just call me. Yeah. They were at Dragon Square last night, just bowling. Do you have a unit go there? Make sure that he hasn't returned there. 1015 have ring cameras, but didn't pick up anything. 517 Hendersonville is with me. 1000 contact, hadn't seen anything either, nothing on ring doorbell. 1012 Killing Lane through 20. 1012 go through the entire. The lady at 1032 Kellen runs the neighborhood Facebook page, and she's updating it to request people are looking at crawl spaces and hidden areas. Hey, on at 157 Killing Lane, did y'all happen to check the crawl space? I will have to check my list, but if it wasn't locked from the outside, it was checked. 1018 Stafford. They are reviewing their camera footage right now. So they should contact me. Cameras check. No, that's fine.
184, your low volume. They got cameras checked.
Yeah, for 1018. I'll be out at St. John Missionary, 1085. Resident at 1028 Kellen Lane states that he just saw a kid with a black shirt, black shorts, had a phone in his hand coming across the construction. When he made contact with this gentleman, the subject went straight back to the woods at the top of Killing Lane. I just talked to him. He's someone helping. Thank you. Murdaugh units, when you're done with your assignment, please come back to 1008 Stafford. 1023, 24, 18, and 16 from Stafford. Over in cameras, nothing's controlled. Operations had started at Little Bend Drive. St. John House, just clear all the way along. And the dumpsters and both church buses have been cleared also. So we can move.
10-4, are you going back to Stafford Court?
Still on search, but general area.
1026, Killing Lane, no contact. 1028, make contact, nothing on their cameras. And 1030, contact, nothing on their cameras, and nothing in the treehouse behind the house. 10-4? 68, command, all houses on Killing Lane have been checked.
Brad, those woods on that side of Long Hollow, we were unable to fly to due to the distance with the drones. So those big woods to the south of the house, we have been able to get chisels. All the properties on Vandywood Court have been checked. We're starting on Honeysuckle now.
Yeah, that's 3293, Long Hollow Pike, beyond the creek, and checking out a cave behind the house.
I'm almost back to the house. Meet my partner.
We crawled back into the cave as far as I could go before it got muddy. No footprints, and it's collapsed land about 10 feet. 10-4, but you're out of it, correct? Sounds good.
Trooper Grinder has himself and a few troopers. They're going to hit the road outside of our immediate vicinity and just look for him. We'll come down roadway somewhere. 3301 Long Hollow Pike has been cleared. Stone House, several outbuildings have been cleared. They're unlocked if anyone wants to look. I just sent you the endangered poster. If you can put that on our social media, please. 12 to 188. Okay. Did you all check inside each one of those buses behind TW Hunter? 247, we check them out. Okay, well, we're about the 3 closest to the building. We had 10-4 to respond to the area of National Pike and Terry Road. There's a juvenile in that area wearing black pants and a red t-shirt. We're shaking back and forth like he had autism. That was just reported to us. Outside of Long Hollow from Killen Lane to Center Point has been checked. Can you check the field houses that are up on top of the hill by the practice field back behind CW Hunter? I don't see that anybody has tracked through there on foot. Careful. The one and my sorting location's clear. Residents are going 3221 Long Hollow Pike is clear. And from my sorting location to Shackle Island, I don't see entire creek bed and then is clear. Myself and 182 have been behind TW Hunter, all the way behind Beach, football field and baseball field, up in the fields, checking tree lines, all the way to the cemetery, behind Beach Road Presbytery. We're still here so far, clear. You myself and 182, we're not ourselves around to the front of the schools, to the side of the school check, we're still in the back. Are any mobile units on Long Hollow Pike? 3 is.
Go ahead, 3.
The bus and the shed have been checked at 3220. Well, thank you. Can you and your partner stop at Willow Bend and go house to house up Willow Bend? Check all those, please. See what people have driven through. If it doesn't look like anybody's a house to house. Yeah, well, every house on Honeysuckle has been checked. People that answered the door have only seen the Parishman this morning, nothing else. The White House and Red Barn adjacent to TW Hunter, 2105 New York is clear. 3417 THP has joined in with myself and 517 on Willow Bend to check houses. The big holding pond has been cleared by Hendersonville Fire. They're going to rehab at Shackle Island for a bit and go to the one over by the cemetery. Field house is behind the beach. Soccer field's been searched. We're going to head over to the side field house across the street from the fire hall. 106, 108, 110, 112, Willowbrook, all check, no contact with any homeowners. And none of these houses have crawl spaces. Beach football complex. Were you also searching that area? Yes, sir. Made contact with a realtor at 114. Hasn't seen him and all the rooms have been cleared. 116 made contact with that homeowner. He said he has seen that child walking in the neighborhood in past times, but not recent. The main field house next to the freshman annex has been completely searched. All clear. It's got a beach softball, beach football. It's the one next to the beach-going church. That's when you hit. And the freshman annex is the main football complex. We are being marshals back here in the back of the cemetery back here. No contact with anyone, and his truck is not here either. So if the lady's here trying to get in her driveway and your car is, and is the key there by chance? It is, but it's locked. Okay, well, she's trying to get in the driveway. We haven't finished process.
Call came in at 6:33 this morning.
Call came in at 6:33 this morning. Yes.
We haven't finished process.
Call came in at 6:33 this morning.
6:33 is when the call came in, and Katie was searching around 6:42. Doesn't sound very immediate to me. Doesn't sound like they called within 3 minutes of him being in the phone. What the dilly-dally? Yeah. But at the beginning of this video, they're talking about the mom still driving around at 6:42. We know that she was gone from that house only 10 minutes from eyewitness neighbors. So she didn't even leave the house to go search for him until after The stepfather's on three-way 911 calling. Yeah, they saw her out 6 a.m. looking for her, acting hysterical outside before the call was made. From my understanding, she wasn't even on the phone with Chris at that time. A lot of her story doesn't make sense.
Yeah, dude, man, we just put it on the can on the ground at the house. See if we fix anything. So you're breaking off fuel account. What's this for fuel?
Refuel.
The creek worsens to new second one all the way in the bridge there, full head check. What's your location?
I'm looking by 109 in Thornton's right now. I just got a phone call. Kid matching that description, hiding under the bridge, lower station camp behind the market. I'm en route. I'm close.
Is we get somebody else on the other side of her nursery to come down? She stated that he took me on that side. 446, what was the last thing just under the bridge. She stated that when she went down to turn around, he was on 446. Did you talk to his client? She's still on the bridge. Sure. White female, black leggings.
I agree, Holly.
Blonde hair. To 447, 446. You see any tracks that way? I'm taking Creek Harbor. See any track. 446 to 447. Hold your location, please. I'm on foot now.
10-4. I know they've got the dog up there.
The helicopter's coming back to you. 158 Upper Station. The residents say the EPA, approximately 5 minutes ago, somebody walked through that gate right below you. There's somebody in black. There's a deputy at 158.
Lady Justice, yes.
Black on the tree line.
But they were all, none of them panned out. They were all
There's 2 law enforcement guys are walking back here along the tree lines. Go through there.
They were all different people.
How long have they lived in that house? A year. Where were we at before? Cambridge Farms, Scout. 449 to Remington in Cambridge Farms. White male, gray t-shirt, white pants. They didn't get to see his face, kind of shaggy blonde hair. We'll be out at Lower Station, Scarlet, and Big Station with the male juvenile with 4-wheeler in the creek. Who checked out with a juvenile on station camp? This is not going to be our missing juvenile. He's with his father in the creek. I made contact with the male, the caller, and him in the trail called him out. It's not our subject.
Hey, I see you. All right. I don't know why it pops right over to a different one. All right, let's get this off. Oh, it's Smiley's World. It's starting Smiley's World over because it's in my rotation. So there you guys have it. There's everything. We now know, for your knowledge, that at 6:42, allegedly, Katie's driving around at that time, or there's some crossed information there because we hear that she left fairly early. We don't know what time it is. This is the only time that we have of her being outside of that home on, with the police radio. Now, were they there at the house at the time saying that? I don't know. I think that, it's possible the stepdad or even her were on the phone saying, well, I'm not at the house at the moment. I got to come home, or something like that, because we heard Chris, when he stated that he called, he told her that they're on their way. She needs to go back to the house. Well, we know that call didn't come in until 6:33 in the morning. So that means that she wasn't out of the house immediately looking for him. It sounds to me that she was out of the house looking for him right before he called 911. And what were they talking about for 30 minutes on the phone before they made the 911 call? What were they talking about? Did he tell her, look, you need to go get in the car and go out and look like you're looking for him? You know? Or was it, well, have you looked around the neighborhood? Oh, well, maybe I need to go look around the neighborhood. Hold on. But they didn't hold on. She waited almost 40 minutes before leaving her house, allegedly, for this. At least 30 minutes before she left her house, allegedly, to go look for Sebastian after she realized he was missing. Definitely not as immediate as implied by the mom and the stepfather in the first 3 interviews that we heard. So this gives us a whole different element that we keep forgetting about. This right here has been out for months. 5 months. 5 months. Jessica Danielle is the one that did this. And she does these timelines. I've used her work for in some of our commentary. She does very good. She's a very sweet girl. If you guys haven't gone over there and subbed her up, please consider subbing her up. When she does her work, she's a mom, so she's not like on YouTube every day. She's I think she's a I think she's a stay-at-home mom, but I can't remember. But she's just a very sweet, she appears to be very sweet. 40 minutes is enough to do cleaning, Betty. That is true. That is true. That is absolutely true. But we know that Kathy was there when law enforcement showed up. Where did Kathy come from? And when was she called? I mean, let's think about this. When could she have been called to be there by the time law enforcement got there? According to Katie and Chris, they wake up. Katie goes in there, realizes he's not there, looks around the house. Within 3 minutes, she's on the phone with Chris. According to them, Chris and her stayed on the phone until law enforcement showed up. So at what point could Grandma Dearest have been called and notified to head over to the house? How was she notified to head over to the house? When was she notified to head over to the house? And how could she be there before they ever even got off the phone? Betty, if she was on 3-way with him, she said she would have heard the call and the police coming, so she would have known. Good point. Good point. But law enforcement would clearly be able to tell whether they were on a 3-way call when that call was made. And why would she mute herself? Why would he tell her to mute herself? And why wouldn't she be the one that wanted to call? I mean, I had, I tell this story. So I had a dog, and my husband went out to Arcadia and picked up this pit bull. He wanted this pit bull. He wanted a new puppy for his dog Chance. So his brother, just so happens this dog meandered onto his brother's property out in Arcadia, and his brother called him knowing he was looking for a dog and said, I got this cute little puppy, this pit puppy, come out and get her. And he's like, oh, great. So he grabbed a cage, gets in his truck, and goes out to Arcadia to pick up this pit puppy. Well, this pit puppy wasn't a pit puppy. It was actually a Labrador. She was the cutest little darn thing. We named her Layla. And as she grew up, there was a lot of times that we would do work. I used to work at a law firm, and Vince had the handyman business, and things were kind of getting really screwed up because he was working. It was hard to get the paperwork and billing out and stuff like that. So I ended up leaving my job and going and working for our business full time. And so some days we would be out of this house 8-9 hours, right, doing work. And we threw our dogs in the backyard thinking that they would be safe. Well, Vince ended up taking his big dump trailer. It was a huge 14-foot trailer. It was rigged. I mean, it was a very solid trailer, but it was rusting. It had some, it wasn't a pretty trailer. It wasn't a brand new trailer. It was a trailer that did its job that we needed. It was within our budget, and it was a little rust bucket, but it did what we needed it to do. It would carry, I mean, we had 2,000, 3,000 pounds of wood on that trailer to take to the dump when he had to remove a trailer off a building. So long story short, that trailer got up under there, and apparently the dogs used to dig when it got hot. They would get under the trailer and dig a little hole. Well, at some point, she must have stood up, and some pop because it was a rigid stab in her, so it looked like it came from that trailer. That's what we can assume. We weren't here for it. We don't know. All I know is she came in like any other day, and her hair was sticking up. I was in the kitchen making dinner. Vince was looking at his dog. He's like, he thought she had something sticky on her, and he went over there to clean her up and realized that her skin had been pulled off of her bone. It was pretty scary. Okay, to think you have something sticky on your dog, and then find out that your dog is injured. And I can tell you, when I saw it, I had shock. I was in shock. There's no other thing to, I was pacing back and forth in this house. I had the phone in my hand. I didn't know, I picked up the phone to call the vet, but I couldn't even think, my brain was going a mile a minute. I couldn't compose myself to even realize what I had this phone in my hand for and who I was supposed to call. But I ended up getting my stuff together and calling the vet. But the sheer shock of that, I couldn't think when I had that phone in my hand, I couldn't think of who I needed to call. That was a $1,100 visit. They had to clean her up. They had to give her, some shots. They had to stitch her up. She was a champ. She didn't even whimper. Like, if it wasn't for him checking her out, we wouldn't even have known she was injured. She didn't whimper. When she came in, her tail was wagging, just happy to see us. And, but that is my only real experience that I can recall outside of the wreck we were in when I was 14. That was shock. I mean, I was in so much shock. I was just, my whole body was just shaking like this uncontrollably. And I couldn't talk. And I was 14 years old. I almost saw both my parents killed, literally in front of me. Had they been, I think it was a quarter inch further, they would have both been wiped out. And I was completely, utterly in shock. And that was my only other experience. But your brain goes blank. I mean, for her to describe this, and, I wasn't hysterical. I wasn't hysterical at all. I was just confused. Like, I had a blank look on my face. I was completely blank. I was devoid of any conscious thought. And I just don't understand, if she was that in shock or that upset, how she could think to call Chris but not law enforcement, or why Chris would need to mute her. Why would she need to mute herself? I mean, that's not something that when you're grieving and freaking out, it's not something that you think, oh, I need to mute myself. I mean, think of that action in the situation going on. Just like, think of somebody going out there and telling news crews not to record their house. Like, when you're in a situation like this, that's the least thing on your mind. You don't think like that. Sonia, I sent Betty an email to forward to you to see if you could post it on your page for California viewers. It's very concerning. Silver alert. Okay. Also, just remember, you can always post on the Facebook group, our Facebook True Crime group, any missing persons. I know a lot of you guys like to send those to me, but if it's not a case that I'm covering, typically I just post it on my Facebook group. There's a lot of people in that Facebook group, and they pass that around, and that's how we get the word out. If it's something that you need me to look into, I do have a little time to look into some things, but not do deep dive like I'm doing for the Sebastian Rogers case, or the Murdaugh case for that matter. But we can, if it's something that you feel is important and you want it to be the person to be debuted and like part of the intro, I'm happy to do that today as well. So that would be good. Someone called socks for her to get there fast. Was she already in the area? Bernadette, we believe she was. We believe she was at the Worsham's General Store waiting for her to move into action, so to speak. A lot of these things are really not looking well for the mom and the stepdad, when you really put all the puzzle pieces together in a timeline in an orderly fashion, it really shows a very specific situation here, and not one that appears to be good on its face. And this extra element of the potential of the grandmother being down the road before this child was even reported or allegedly known to have been missing, in my opinion, is huge. It doesn't bode with the information, and it does show that people knew something was going on long before people knew something was going on. In my opinion, it just doesn't look good, looking more like it was planned. Or maybe not necessarily planned, but these certain things were planned after the event happened. I'm still on the fence. I know a lot. I'm on the fence with a lot of stuff because, the more we research this, I originally thought Chris was home, and then it was drilled into us that he was not home. But with new information that's coming together and new perspectives and new theories that are being developed based upon information, could it be possible that he was home? And until I can find corroborating evidence that he was working on a car at the campground that he was staying at that Sunday, unless that can be corroborated legitimately and not just a theory or a rumor or somebody, we don't know where it came from, we just heard about it, because we heard a lot of stuff that came from the PIs that were working. One of the reasons why the PIs that were working were fired is because they weren't doing their job. We've already talked about some of the things that they were doing that they shouldn't have been doing because they had other tasks to be done. One is checking the background of volunteers. These people are volunteers. We don't care where the volunteers come from as long as we have boots on the ground. Why you're doing background checks on volunteers? I've never in my life ever heard that in any freaking search. Like I've been at searches with law enforcement where we had to sign in and put a ribbon around our freaking ankle to go out and search for people, and they never did background checks on the hundreds of people that showed up. But yet this outfit thinks that they have a right to kick people off searches and stuff like that because of their background not being prestige while they're working with a bunch of felons. That's what really just gets up my craw. So all of their information that they were relaying, their source was the stepfather. They talked to the stepfather. The stepfather is the one that told them 515. The stepfather told them this. The stepfather is the one that told him he was working on a car at the campground. And they took that as fact, never once challenging it or truly fact-finding it. That's why they were fired. That's why I say they're unprofessional. That's why I say they do not have a clue. If you really want to know who the source was for both of those PIs, it was the stepfather. The person we have stated has lied over and over and over again, and that we should not be listening to the words coming out of the stepfather's mouth. Hey, Brown Eye Girl, nice to see you. 404 error not found. I have to be honest with you. I like that name. So now that you know who their source was, now you understand our frustration when people believe their information over ours when we talk and actually fact check the SOB that gave them the information. And guess what? When we fact check the SOB, it was not correct. It was not correct, but an idiot across the pond over there, God knows wherever Michelle After Dark lives, I don't know, I don't really care, wants to believe a Yahoo that believes the stepfather. You might as well just go and listen to the stepfather and the mother for all your information, Michelle, because that's what you're listening to when you listen to that Yahoo Chloe. That girl doesn't know, none of these people know anything about true investigation. And that's what's so funny, because they go to a class, a 40-hour class, and pass a test. Oh my God, they know it all. I've been doing this for over a decade. Good gracious. That's a joke. So, no. I would like to corroborate that he was there, because now that we realize what had happened, all the information that we were relying on because of these PIs was bunk information, because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They didn't get off their butts. They wanted to go and show, oh, look at me. I'm looking in the woods, but hey, my only job is not to be a searcher, but to be an investigator, which I'm not doing. I want the cloud of looking like I'm working and I'm searching for this boy, but my only job was to find information that leads to his whereabouts. But I'm going to listen to the stepfather and pass all the stepfather's information around as if it's true. That's what we dealt with. That's what we dealt with. Thank you all who have been supportive this morning. Let's go through it. Look at all this. Oh, it's so beautiful. SRK gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership. Thank you so much, SRK. Phil gave us a $5 super sticker that says boss. Turtle Talk became the newest member of this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. Oh, JC World Wonders. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Bobby gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships here. Ginger Girl gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your membership, please don't forget to tell those beautiful ladies, all the beautiful ladies this morning, thank you for your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership. And Rachel 508 became one of the newest member of this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. Thank you so much. Thank you, and God bless you for all of your love, all of your support, and more importantly, your generosity to keep this channel going. We have a lot of information to go over. This is why we have to go back to the beginning. This is why it's important to educate our audience on the true facts of this case. When you don't have the true facts of this case, it's very easily to be manipulated with narratives and misinformation and disinformation. Yes, we do speculate on this channel. Yes, we do theorize on this channel, but we do it based upon the facts, not wild speculation. Okay? And I feel it's very, very important to get our beautiful audience and those that like to stalk me back on track with legitimate information. Because let's face it, their information is wrong. Listening to the mom and stepdad, when we keep hearing them doing these self-preservation interviews, is giving us an uneasy feeling in the pit of our stomach. Why would we be taking their word for it? We didn't take Seth's word for it. We made him pony up the proof, put up the receipts, put up or shut up, right? Put up or shut up. We did that to Seth Rogers. We did that to Seth Rogers, and guess what? He put up, and we shut up. Okay? Thank you, Triangel. If you received your Bullhorn Betty gifted membership from Triangel, don't forget to tell her thank you. Who got it? Who got it? Betty Knight got the Bullhorn Betty membership. Welcome to the fam, love. Welcome to the fam. So don't think that we didn't go through a process with Seth, okay? Don't think I didn't go through a process, whether I knew him or not. You got to understand, I didn't know Seth when I started talking about this case. I've only known Seth, what is it? Seth can tell you. I don't think I've even known him very much, maybe 3 months out of the 6. So it had nothing to do with any type of allegiance to Seth or anything like that. We covered this case, and it was clear on its face that this man had nothing to do with the disappearance of his son, didn't have the motives, means, or even opportunity to do so. And so that's when I made my decision based on great information, relevant information, factual information, that the step-parent, the mom and the stepfather weren't being truthful. And the biological father was. And you know what? The proof is in the pudding. Who stopped the communication? Was it the father or the mom and the stepfather? We all know the answer to that. The same people that went looking for a motorcycle and the same people that left in the middle of the search efforts for their freaking son and went to a different state and try to say, oh my God, it's because we're being threatened and harassed. I can tell you nobody has ever been threatened and harassed more than Bullhorn Betty. I don't even want to hear the bull crap. I don't even want to hear it. Nobody can say that they have been treated like me. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. And you know what? You don't see me running away from home. You don't see me going into a different state unless I'm searching for somebody. Forever's Nikki gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership. Sissy, you became the newest member of this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club. Michelle hit it up again, and look at that, Sunset Gazer. Welcome, both of you. Thank you. God bless you. You guys are beautiful people. Thank you so much. God bless every one of you. All right, guys. Well, that's kind of the ending of our show. Something to ponder on. We'll be back later this evening. We've got a lot of different topics to go over, and we still have several more interviews we're going to get to. So I'm going to try to figure out how I want to roll out this evening's show. We did wrap up with Smiley's World. That is an interview we're going to have to go back to, but we can't do it right now because right now we are on a mission to keep everything in chronological order so everybody sees how all of this stuff transpired and what made it transpired. So until we get to where we're caught up, we will go back. It is on the list to go back and re-review Smiley World interview. But these are not the craziest interviews, believe it or not, yet. We still have more that have a lot more damaging information in them, and it is all damaging to the story that the mom and the stepdad have cooked up. Guys, thank you for being here. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Happy hump day to my beautiful coffee beans before we leave. I know everybody wants to see my sleeping baby. My sleeping baby that doesn't like to wake up. She sleeps whenever I'm on live, which is good. I don't mind that. But there she is. She's like, Mommy, why do you always have to wake me up and prompt me in front of here? I'm trying to sleep over here. Give me a treat or put me back down. Give me a treat or put me back down. Okay. I don't want a treat. I just want back down. Don't be all temperamental. Look at that. Her and her attitude. Are you being temperamental? Are you being temperamental? Say hi, everybody. My mommy loves me. She spoils me rotten. That's why I'm so temperamental. All right, you can go back. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. She's such a sweetheart. I love this darn dog. I gotta tell you, if anything, I watch her like a hawk. I'm like a hover mom on steroids, especially after the dog's out there, because I won't walk her on a leash in her own yard. She doesn't leave her yard, you know? And so I let her out there so she gets to run around and play and then she gets in her little, like when I'm ready to come back in, especially when it's hot outside, I'm like, come on. And she's not ready. She's like, no, you kept me in the house all day. I want to play. Watch me, Mommy. I'm not coming back in. Come on, Delilah. And then I move toward her and I can always tell when she's ready to play. So instead of when I see her in a mood like that, I try to coax her in the backyard where she can, run around and run from me and not be in any jeopardy of a car or anything. So and it's so cute, especially with all the tree limbs that fell back there. It's like she's got this, I don't know, wild backyard. She loves going up under the trees and poking out, the limbs, the big limbs that are out there. She just thinks it's a jungle gym now. Like she was so skittish. I remember when I first took her out there, she was so skittish of the backyard. And now she realizes it's her area, and she really does enjoy it. And I got to tell you, every time I'm out there and I see her having fun, it just puts the biggest smile on my face. You're absolutely welcome, Seth. We're thankful for you being here. I'm just really sorry for everything that you're going through. Don't forget, guys, November 9th. You guys know I'm going to be in court October 10th. I want everybody that can make it there to make it there. Please wear green in support of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. If you do choose to go, don't forget, we need to be hitting up Court TV and everybody else. I want everybody I need media in that courtroom. JC World, thank you so much. Rita, you are the recipient. Welcome to the Crazy Fam. It's nice to see you guys. You guys rock this out. I gotta be honest with you. It's because of you. So we'll be there, but I really, really, really want, we had that Fallen Brewery, is it the Fallen Brewery or Fallen Soldier Brewery or something like that? I can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry. I don't have the flyer in front of me. But that's going to be November 9th, guys. November 9th. This is going to be a redo of my arrest vigil, okay? This is going to go without a hitch, and I'm going to tell you, you're not going to want to miss this vigil. I'm not going to say why. I'm not going to say for the reason. All I'm going to say is if the Fallen Brewery, thank you so much, The Real Me Too. So if you guys can, you're going to want to be at this one supporting the vigil for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And I guarantee his crappy mom and stepfather aren't going to be able to ruin this one. They're not going to be able to ruin this one, and neither are any of those hate channels. We're absolutely, if I have any more stalkers, and we've already got the videos and we are ready to rock and roll. Let the stalkers come. I am going to be filing protective orders and restraining orders on every last one of them if they're the same people that showed up last time, without a doubt. And that little bee that's nasty that wants to talk about her police station, I'm going to go down there and I'm taking them all the freaking evidence of her stalking me to them, and I'll be filing a restraining order on that lady too. It's only $99 for me to get to Texas, baby. 99 bucks. That's it. 99 bucks. I really wouldn't be stalking me anymore, lady. Not unless you want some major legal trouble. And stay the hell off the Tennessee. We're not a nonprofit. It's a freaking hashtag, you dum-dum. Just saying. Just saying. But we know idiots without brains actually think a hashtag is a nonprofit. OMG. All right, guys. God bless you. Take care. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. And please ditch the hate. Ditch the hate. We're here for a cause. We're here to advocate for missing and deceased individuals, victims of crime. And that's what we do on this channel. And everything that derives from that is to a direct support to those efforts. We're able right now, based on just the stuff that we get just from our channel, we're able to keep the lights on here as well as do a trip a month to help a family. This family has needed more love and more support than most, but we need to get back on track as well. We still have Layla Santinello that needs answers in her case. We're going to have to showcase that in the short term, or in the near future, not short term, in the near future, to find out the new information on that, to see if it rings true, if there's any nugget of information that'll help lead to the whereabouts of Layla Santinello. Summer Wells, another situation, Tennessee, another solvable case in Tennessee. And we need to bring Summer Wells home. We need to find out what happened to that beautiful baby girl, 5 years old, disappeared from out of her mother's custody. Another despicable mom doing despicable things inside their ran down house where she was home all day, didn't work, and couldn't give her children a much more cleaner and safer environment than she gave. Something happened to these kids. Something has happened to all of them. And usually 99.9%, it's somebody they knew. God bless.